You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
Welcome, friends, and thank you to another episode of Earth Oddity, where we are, well...
Hopefully we're recording.
Hopefully. Let me go ahead and take the blame for that. That is 100% my fault. Yes, last week we totally recorded a new episode, and then when I went to put it on my computer, I had not formatted the memory card, and I tried to recover it through like a program, and then I tried this other program, and no matter what I did, I'm sure like the CIA or the NSA could have probably found it, but they were not interested in helping us out. So,
well, I mean, I don't want to take I don't want you to take all the blame for everything that happened, even though it's 100% your fault.
It is.
Let's just not lay all the blame on Tiny's hands. Let's just say that sometimes things happen, and out of probably, how many episodes do we have now? 40?
I think this is 40.
Okay, yeah. And so we messed up one. I feel like that's a pretty good average, you know?
Yeah. And
if you go 40 and 1 in like a basketball season, that's a pretty good, like an NCAA basketball. That's a pretty good season. So
also we've had an episode every single week except for last week, back to January.
Yeah, right.
But then there was one week we had 2 episodes.
That's right.
So
yes, we did have a bonus.
We did.
Yeah, with the whole shebang. Yeah.
So we'll make this up at some point.
Sure. Probably not.
But I'm sorry that I ruined everybody's week last week. I know that,
there's millions of people out there that were waiting on us.
I know.
Just waiting.
I mean, I know it throws off your whole week when you don't get your weekly dose of odd news. That's 100% my fault. John has agreed to take some of the blame.
Yeah, I will take all the blame. Look,
it's not my fault.
There's no tender meat on my rump. It's all been chewed off at some point in time by someone before, so everyone can blame me. It's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But
so in summation, not my fault.
Yeah, right.
John's
it's
fault.
all mine. Even though it's not, I will take the blame for it. It's the type of guy I am. Yeah.
So what kind of stories we got this week, John?
Got a couple of cow-related stories.
Gotcha.
One that milk is a symbol used by white supremacists.
Right.
Just to let everybody know out there, if you're drinking milk, you are horribly racist.
How dare you?
Yes, how dare you? Yeah.
Well, we have a Marine pilot who is tracing phallic shapes in the sky for some reason.
Okay.
But we're going to start with this story that was sent in to us by Mr. Johnny Irons, huge fan of Earth Oddity.
He is.
Kitten found glued to Oregon Road, rescued by a man driving to work.
Oh, wow. That's horrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I know you're not a cat person, though.
But I've never glued one to the road.
It's funny. All you other cat haters.
Well, that is why I put this in the show. But check this out. A tiny kitten may have shaved off one of his 9 lives after being discovered glued to a busy road in Oregon on Friday. Chuck Hawley was driving to work on Silverton Road Northeast just outside of Salem around 7 a.m. when he noticed there was something in the road in a busy lane of traffic. So I wonder if maybe everyone's moving into that lane.
Yeah.
Because it says that was the busy one.
Yeah, I guess.
Everyone's trying to get 10 points, I guess. When I went to pick her up, her feet were stuck to the road, and I'm like, oh no. So I start to pull her feet up, and it was like a rubber cement, so she was glued to the road, Hawley told Fox 12. It was all under her neck, and then she had a little bit down her side, but it was mostly her tail and her feet. The 5-week-old kitten, frightened and cold, had her feet soaked in glue that was sort of rubbed into the pads of her feet. I think the way she was sitting, someone actually went out there and put her there, he told Fox 12, because there were no glue footprints around. It was just a gob of glue under her, so it wasn't like someone just spilled a bunch of glue and the cat got stuck in it like a fly, you know.
Right.
But that's what kind of, I mean.
That's horrible.
Again, I'm not a fan of cats.
That's horrible.
But I'm not for, I mean, My mind goes back to the old black and white movies where the dude with the mustache like ties the lady to the railroad tracks.
Right,
this is kind of the 2018 version of that.
Yeah, with a cat.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I don't know. I feel like whoever did that, they should be punished to the full extent of the law.
Should we glue them to the road?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, not really. I'm not for killing of any kind,
Right.
but yeah. So.
But occasionally you see the strong men on TV who will like lay down and the bus will drive up
right.
on their stomach.
What was that guy from Alabama that used to do that all the time?
Oh,
You know, who
I
I'm talking
didn't
about?
know.
It's,
I don't know.
It's not Randy Owens. So Randy Owens is the lead singer of country music supergroup Alabama, but his name was like Randy. It was like Randy Owen or something like that.
I bet Casey Dunaway would know.
Oh yeah. Oh, they probably power lifted together and watched WrestleMania before. But yeah. But yeah, he would do that all the time. And what was that group of people used to come around and like rip phone books in half because they loved
The
Jesus?
Power Team?
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yes. Help him.
Like blowing up like those water bottle things or whatever they're called.
Yeah, so I mean, if they catch this guy, I'm not for killing him. I don't think he's worthy of that.
Yeah.
But maybe glue him to the road and drive a bus on him until he says mercy or uncle and then back off.
Maybe not a bus. Not like a Toyota Corolla. Just
Toyota
bruise him
Corolla.
up really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. Like one of those Mini Coopers.
And give him like a phrase to say, but he has to say it in the right order. It can't be anything.
Like very complex,
Yeah.
sentence he has to say. But I like that. But yeah, man, I just don't know why. I mean, I know there's sick people in the world and there's really no explaining people who are evil or whatever, but I just take a cat and glue it to the road out of all the things you could do.
I have trouble getting a cat to take its medicine. I don't know how this guy managed to hold down a cat and glue it to the road.
Very true.
And then I guess you got to hold it there till the glue
The Drew glides.
Yes.
Drew glides. That's a good name for actor.
Yeah.
Well, my cat, Holly, the bobtail cat that we have
Yes.
now, she put on a little weight. She packed on some pounds. So the doctor told us or doctor, vet, I guess vet's a doctor, told us to cut back on the food we give her. And she's like super grumpy now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got into it yesterday morning. You see she scratched up my arm.
Does she have a face like tartar sauce?
No, she's not that grumpy, but she's just not as happy and carefree as she used to be. Which is kind of like me when I can't eat on time. I get a little grumpy too.
True.
So, yeah. But I wouldn't glue her to the road.
Right.
Even
Well, then
though
she's
she
never going to
scratched
lose
me.
weight if
Yeah,
you can't move
right.
around.
Right. Yeah. But we were fighting. I mean, I'll fight with a cat.
Right.
It's fun to wrestle with them. She got like really mad really quick. Normally we just kind of play around, and yeah, she wasn't having it.
Well, anyway, Holly took the kitten, now named Sticky. So, good name.
It's a good name. Yeah.
Yes. Took it to an animal clinic where staff members had to use mineral oil to get the glue off her paws. Puncture wounds were also found on the kitten's neck, but it's yet to be determined what caused them. On Monday, Holly said he spoke with deputies from the Marion County Sheriff's Office who came to his home, took pictures of Sticky's neck injuries, and they investigate how she ended up glued to the road. The little kitten is expected to make a full recovery and wound up getting a new home out of the ordeal after they adopted her. The funny thing is, we were just talking about getting a cat a couple nights ago. He said, seems like there's easier ways for the cat to find us, but if that's how we're doing it, okay, I guess we'll do it.
Well, we all know the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yes.
Right.
But it wasn't the Lord that glued the cat to the road, is it?
No. I don't think so.
My son, he's been asking for a puppy for Christmas. Should I?
Well, you better keep those eyes peeled.
He wakes up on Christmas morning and walks
what,
into the living
glued
room
out
and
in
there's
the
like a
cul-de-sac?
puppy duct taped to the refrigerator.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what Holly was a Christmas present too. Santa brought
how
Holly
about
to
that?
her house. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Her real name is Holly Jolly Christmas Long. So that's the cat's name. Libby named her. So. Well, I got another story here. And I would just say again, that's horrible about the cat. If anybody's listening out here that has any leads, call the Oregon State Police or whoever with that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of disturbing. But this is kind of disturbing too. This comes from the LA Times. And the headline is, so many people have had their DNA sequenced that they've put other people's privacy in jeopardy. So as I've said before, I don't understand the people who want to send their DNA into the internet, but whatever, if that's your thing, now you're screwing it up for the rest of us out here. Everyone's DNA sequence is unique. I'm assuming everybody knows that. But for those who wish to maintain their genetic privacy, it may not be unique enough. A new study argues that more than half of Americans could be identified by name if all you had to start with was a sample of their DNA and a few basic facts, such as the region where they live and about how old they might be. It wouldn't be simple and it wouldn't be cheap, but the fact that it has become doable will force all of us to rethink the meaning of privacy in the DNA age, experts say. There's little time to waste. The researchers behind the new study say that once 3 million Americans have uploaded their genomes to public genealogy websites, nearly everyone in the U.S. will be identifiable by their DNA alone and just a few additional clues. More than 1 million Americans have already published their genetic information, and a dozen more do so every day. People have been wondering how long it will be before you can use DNA to detect just about everyone, said Ruth Dickover. That's her name. I'm not kidding. That's her name. That's her name. Director of the Forensic Science Program at UC Davis, who is not involved with the study. I just have to say, if you have Professor Dickover as your class, if that pops up on your schedule, you're like, oh, this is going to be a long year. The authors are saying it's not going to take that long, according to Professor Dickover. The new reality represents the convergence of two long-standing trends. One of them is the rise of direct-to-consumer genetic testing. Companies such as Ancestry.com and 23andMe can sequence anyone's DNA for about $100. All you have to do is provide a sample of saliva and drop it in the mail. The other essential element is the proliferation of publicly searchable genealogy databases like GED Match, which GED Match sounds like how you find people who dropped out of high school.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a dating service for people who
high school dropouts.
For high school dropouts.
Anyone can upload a full genome to these sites, and powerful computers will crunch through it looking for stretches of matching DNA sequences that could be used to build out a family tree. To test the growing power of these sites, researchers led by Columbia University computer scientist Yaniv Ehrlich set out to see whether they could find a person's name and thus her identity, if all they had to go on was a piece of her DNA and a small amount of biographical information. They started with a full DNA sequence from a woman in Utah whose genetic information was published anonymously as part of the study. They had actually identified this woman in a previous study, but for purposes of this work, they pretended they didn't know who she was. Or they uploaded her genetic code to GED Match and ran a search to see if she had any relations on the site. They found two, one in North Dakota and one in Wyoming. The researchers could tell they were all related because they shared a number of single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs, that's what us in the business call them. They're single letters in specific spots among the roughly 3 billion A, C, T's, and G's that make up the human genome. So anyways, they tracked this lady down.
They tracked her down.
It gets bogged down in all this scientific stuff with a bunch of words that I can't even pronounce.
They did a lot of science stuff, and they found out who she was, knowing nothing more about her than her DNA sample.
Than just her DNA sample.
Right. That's incredible.
So, it goes on to talk about how they've found at least 13 suspected criminals have been identified the same way, according to the Golden State Killer.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. We simply talked about DNA services. And again, for people who are not familiar with the story, this is a guy who was a prolific killer back in the 70s.
Right.
And virtually nothing was known about him.
Right.
He would call victims' houses. He would leave them threatening messages on the answering machine. He would call them. He would terrorize people. I mean, he was a horrible person, and the cops never caught him. Caught him
till like
this past year when his granddaughter sent in her DNA to one of these samples, and they got a match because back in the 70s, I mean, people left DNA everywhere.
Yeah, they didn't think about it.
Yeah, there wasn't a thing.
That's right.
And they, sure enough, they got a match and now they got him all these years later because his granddaughter sent her DNA in.
So here's where it gets a little spooky. Like it says, Elrich here says, when the police caught the Golden State Killer, that was a very good day for humanity. The problem is that the very strange same strategy can be misused. Think of foreign governments using this technique to track down American citizens, or protesters and activists being pursued in this way. Yeah. So they suggest that direct-to-consumer DNA testing companies put a special code on the raw data files that they send to their consumers. Genealogy sites could then agree to allow people to upload DNA sequences only if they have a valid code. This would ensure that people would conduct searches related only to their own DNA. So that would be like, so if me and you were cousins, we would have like a related code if we didn't know each other and you lived in North Dakota or whatever. You would upload your stuff, I would upload mine, and it would be like, oh, hey, these codes found each other. And then, you know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry wouldn't be looking through our DNA or whatever.
And they're saying that by the time they get 3 million people, that they'll think they'll have enough information to pretty much find anybody
in the United States.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
And it's really interesting because I see the good from this technology. I mean, obviously, you know, they call it the Golden State Killer.
Well, yeah. And there's like people who don't know their family history. I mean, a lot of African Americans have no real concept of generational family history. You know, like
because they were stolen out of their homeland and brought over here 200 years ago.
And they're not sure exactly what part. You know, they may know they were from West Africa, but what region in West Africa they're from and all that. So it's a way for people to find out their family history, which is a good thing in theory.
But even that can sometimes be kind of hairy, because I read one article where there was a woman who uploaded her DNA to 23andMe or something like that. Finds out she has a half brother that she knew nothing about.
Wow.
And neither did her mom.
Yeah,
so
daddy been catting around town. Okay. Yeah, that's tough.
It's going to be interesting going forward to see how we deal with this type of technology.
Right.
But
that's why I'm not sending mine in. I mean, not that I got
I was about to say, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
When they hit 3 million people, it's not going to matter.
Well, I would like to encourage everyone to stop doing this. Okay. Not that I have any extra children or anything out there, but I may have committed a few crimes somewhere along the way. Property damage type crimes, not any. I've never killed anyone or done any anything.
At least not that you're willing to cop to on a public podcast available to everybody.
No, I haven't done any serious crimes.
Right.
So no felonious activities, but
only misdemeanors.
Yeah, definitely only misdemeanors. So, yeah, maybe a fire or two. I don't know. Accidentally.
But
yeah. So, anyways, it's kind of spooky.
It is, and again, I mean, I see the really good things, but I also see some situations where this can be kind of hairy. So,
yeah, right. Well,
and also criminals.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? I mean, we may see this. This amazing golden age in forensic science where we're able to, no one's sins are hidden, everyone's sins are laid bare, and we get all of them.
Yeah.
But then after that, what are criminals going to do to fight this technology? Are they going to get better about not leaving their DNA around and
probably so,
and things like that? I know back in the 90s, wearing plastic gloves, like latex gloves, was all the rage.
Yes.
At least on TV.
Right. Yeah. On all the Law and Order or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do, but it's definitely, it's got its pluses and its minuses. So if you're like me and you don't want everybody knowing everything about you, then you probably don't want to be uploading your DNA. And you're going to talk to like I'm going to do as soon as the show's over. Call all your cousins, aunts, and uncles and
tell them not to.
Let's just not do it. Let's have a hole in the mapping of the human genome where our family is. So there would just be a black hole in it.
And I'm going to say this, for better or for worse, I wonder if maybe privacy may be a thing of the past.
Oh, it's pretty much already
moving forward, no matter how you feel about it. And me, I'm actually a big advocate of privacy. I remember when they came out with the huge, massive logging of Americans, phone records and all this stuff that the NSA was doing. Yeah, I was mortified. I mean, we kind of all thought they were doing that anyway. But, it really, for a long time, made me mad that they were, without a warrant, they were, searching and seizing, records on everybody. But for better or worse, moving forward, I don't think, I think privacy is dead. I think it's a thing of the past.
What we all got to realize is one day it's going to happen, and they're going to publish everything that we've ever searched for on the internet. And we're all going to have to just look at each other and be like,
we're going to have to go for it.
Yeah. I work with this guy, or Oh man, you didn't seem like you would be into that, Jim, or whatever. So we're all just going to have a big conversation about like, hey, let's just kind of forget this happened, guys. Let's just all go back to our normal life because it's going to happen one day.
Just keep your big furry suit in your closet.
Right. Yes. Whatever you're into.
Stepmoms and stepsisters, just keep it to yourself.
Keep all that to yourself, man. We don't want to know anything about that. Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough day for all of us. And if you're sitting here listening to this and you don't think it's going to happen, you're wrong. It's going to happen to all of us. So, just
the powers, the powers that be know about it already.
Oh yeah. So, they got a file on all of us. They're like, oh, this dude is weird.
I tell you what, after that last conversation, I want to talk about church for a while.
We probably need to.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to.
Just feel kind of dirty.
I don't.
So
I only search church stuff on Google.
Well, sooner or later, I don't know if have you ever played Pokemon Go?
I haven't.
I've been told it's demonic. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know a lot about Pokemon. And whenever my kids were watching it when they were little, I would walk in and I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on in this TV show?" And they couldn't tell me. And so I was like, "Well, then we just need to quit watching it." Like you're just watching colors on a screen. So.
Well, fortunately, the Catholic Church is to the rescue.
Okay,
they're fixing to have us a very lovely alternative.
Oh yeah,
Catholic saint finding game. Follow JC Go wants to rival Pokemon Go.
Okay, all right.
Pokemon Go is the wildly successful mobile game that has been downloaded around 800 million times, and it has scooped over 200 billion in revenue since 2016.
Wow.
I had no idea. I knew it was big, and I knew people had killed themselves trying to catch these little, Japanese cartoons.
Yeah,
had no idea $2 billion.
Wow,
that's crazy.
So the Catholic Church is looking for a little boost, and ties have been down. Maybe something.
Figures like that were always going to spawn imitators, but the latest, the Catholic Church, might come as a surprise to many. Follow JC Go, a Christian take on the game, lets players catch saints or Bible characters instead of the little Japanese monsters. The game is the brainchild of, oh my goodness, I'm going to do my best, Fundación Ramon Panay, a Catholic evangelical group which made it in preparation for World Youth Day in 2019, a Catholic youth event taking place in Panama in January. As with Pokemon Go, the game uses the player's smartphone camera to take in their surroundings, then superimposes digital characters, but you're more likely to find St. Peter than Pikachu.
So now I know this from talking to people who are into like Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So you get Pokemons and you grow them and then you fight them. So are we going to be able to do like, Paul versus James or something in the, like Catholic dojo or whatever?
I don't know, but my money's on John the Baptist.
Oh,
because,
he's pretty
Jesus
wild.
said that, none born among women were as good as him.
That's right. Yeah.
Players progress through the game by answering religious quiz questions when they meet a saint, like attributing a quote from the Bible. So Moses might ask the player, "Was it me who said, 'My God, why have you forsaken me?'" To which I would tell Moses, "No, you didn't say that."
Right.
At least you didn't write it down if you did.
Yeah, that came a little while after you, Moses. Yeah.
Yeah. If they get it right, the character will join their E team. Now E is not E as an electronic team. It's your
everlasting.
It's your evangelization team.
Okay, all right. I was just going to throw out some E, like Christian words.
But if I'm putting together like a super evangelization team, Moses is a solid.
Yeah, I mean
solid guy to have.
He's
on
a
your
first
team.
round draft pick.
Yes,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely a first round draft pick.
I mean, anybody that can like turn his staff into a snake.
That's right.
And then separate water so you don't have to pay like a bridge toll or something. That's going to come in handy.
Technically, he didn't separate the water, right?
Well, no.
Okay.
But, God told him to.
It's in case of people out there listening don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's solid.
Right.
Didn't he like get water to come from a rock too?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stop at 7-Eleven to get a drink.
What if he's
and
got
you don't have to pay bridge tolls.
That's right. What if he's got like an army of ravens that bring manna and honey to you when you're hungry,
Maybe.
like during a battle or whatever?
Well, if you get snake bit,
he
can, he just puts up a bronze, serpent, and you just look at it and you're good.
You're good.
So
okay,
a solid choice.
Yeah,
to have
like
on
I said,
team.
definitely a top 10 pick. Yeah.
The game encourages real world real-world worship by promoting the user to stop and pray if they pass a church, or in a hospital, they might be urged to say a prayer for the sick. Players can also donate to charity through the app. Follow JC Go launched in Spanish on October 19th, which was my son's birthday, by the way.
Okay, all right.
And Italian and English and Portuguese versions are expected in the coming weeks.
All right.
So I cannot wait.
I can't either.
Its creators say the goal is to teach players of all ages about the Catholic faith. Though the app wasn't made by the Vatican High Command, the Pope is allegedly a big fan. You know, Francis is not a very technological person, but he was in awe. He understood the idea that what we were trying to do, combine technology with evangelization. Ricardo Zonia, executive director of Fundación Ramón Panay, told Catholic news site Crux Now, the site reports that 43 designers, theologians, Bible experts, and church historians have poured, get this, 32,000 hours of work into the app since August 2016. Wow. So it's something they've really worked hard on.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of man hours.
It was reportedly financed with $500,000 of sponsorship and private donations. On the Google Store, and early Android phone users have given the app a less than heavenly 3.2 stars out of 5. But that's not, 3.2 stars, that's not too bad.
No, we have a better rating than that as our podcast.
And we haven't put nowhere near that many hours in it.
Yeah, no, just want to point that out to you, Pope. You know, just in case.
One reviewer, JRSV, commented, "The best app I have on the phone. I feel happy to follow the path of the Lord from my smartphone." And then another, less seriously, gave it a 1-star, mourning, "I wanted to burn heretics, but it wasn't possible." I would just like to point out to that guy, maybe that could come in later versions, later updates or something.
Like who St. Nicholas, he was the one that punched heretics, right?
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he wasn't just handing out presents. No, he'd punch him in the face. So
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a first rounder, though.
No.
I mean, you're going to want to go all apostles, Moses, Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's your first round if you're building your E-team together.
Yeah, I would say John's a good one. Because
definitely.
He knows what's coming.
Yeah, right. He's got like future sight.
Yes.
That's a big power. That's a big power. I feel like it's pretty good. I heard John MacArthur created one of these for Protestants.
Really?
Yeah, but it was just Romans 9 when you opened it up.
Yeah,
that's a little joke. Just a little joke for everybody.
That's funny.
But I think. We've had it in Baptist for forever, we couldn't watch cartoon. Not me, but I mean in general, couldn't watch cartoons, but we had Veggie Tales.
Yes.
And, you couldn't buy comic books, but you had Bible Man and all that stuff.
Bible Man.
That came out. But
we had Chick Tracks.
Chick Tracks. I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what Chick Tracks
No.
are? Okay, picture your normal track, but it's like a little bitty comic book. And there's usually a guy going to hell at the end.
Of course. Yeah.
It's
right. Yeah. What good's a track if somebody doesn't go to hell? Yeah. Right. No. Yeah. I didn't know about Chick Tracks.
I'm gonna do some Googling.
Okay.
Yeah, the Babylon Bee, they recently had one of their satirical articles talking about
Oh, for real?
Chick Tracks.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So
I must have missed it. That's rare for me to miss a Babylon Bee.
people out there who remember Chick Tracks, write in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our livestock portion of the show. So wellness, everyone is in favor of being as mentally and physically well as possible. And we have a new avenue here for any of our listeners who may want to try it out. This comes to us from beyondblindfold.com. Definitely sounds reputable. And it is cow cuddling is the new wellness trend. And now it costs $300 for a 90-minute session. So for $300, you can help your wellness out. Here, let's get into the article. Ever thought of snuggling up with a 1,000-pound farm animal to help your mental health? No.
My wife does every night.
But neither have I. But if the sound of that intrigues you, you're in luck. Because as it turns out, cow cuddling might be the hottest new wellness trend.
Sounds hot.
It'll set you back a few bills, but it could be worth it. According to PubMed, there's proof that humans can decrease their stress levels by interacting with animals. How one may choose to go about that is their own preference. While this concept in particular might sound strange, the new therapy trend falls in line with other programs we've seen in the past. Remember goat yoga? I don't.
I didn't know about goat yoga.
Or cat yoga? I missed that one too.
Now, I've heard of hot yoga.
Yes. What about bunny yoga? Haven't heard about that either.
Okay, bunny yoga, I think that was pay-per-view.
While yoga with a cow might be a little tricky, cuddling with them might be the next best thing. Mountain Horse Farm in upstate New York. This has to be somewhere like New York. I mean, it wouldn't be in Alabama.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, just... I'm not so much as far as paying to do it, but I thought, cuddling cows, that might be like out in Jasper or something,
True. People get arrested for that around here. Mountain Horse Farm in upstate New York has a program offering the Horse and Cow Experience, where individuals can spend time connecting with the large barnyard animals. You can interact with them however you want to by petting, brushing, or playing. If you're not in the mood to play with the animals, you can simply cuddle with them.
They might want to sit down with a lawyer and kind of shore those rules up a little bit.
No, I'm sure you got to sign a waiver. Cows have a body temperature that's slightly higher than humans, and their heart rate is lower than ours. Cuddling up with a cow, feeling their lower heart rate and higher body temperature is very relaxing, Mountain Horse Farm wrote on their website. Interacting with animals has become a very popular way for individuals to decrease stress and connect with nature. Mountain Horse Farms notes on their website that horses and cows in particular are sensitive animals who use body language to communicate. They will pick up on what's going on inside of you, and sense if you are happy, sad, feel lost, anxious, or excited.
Okay, I'd like to see some studies.
They will respond to you without judgment, ego, or agenda. And they will say, they say that hanging out with their animals can bring relaxation, healing, awareness, comfort, and mindfulness. It can also help with building assertiveness, confidence, and overcoming fear. So that's the benefits of it. And in the article here, we got a lot of people cuddling, just sitting down cuddling with cows. To me, seems like an easy way to get rolled over on by a 1,000-pound cow.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyways, if you're into this stuff, you can check out Mountain Horse Farm's website. But this seems like something that rich white people from the city would do. You know, that have never been around any sort of livestock.
Yeah.
And they think it's just cool to go out there and hug on cows.
When they're talking about how great this is, like, I'm willing to just kind of, take them at face value until they get to where, cows don't judge you.
Right, yeah.
Because every Saturday, they're constantly judging me for eating beef and telling me I need to eat more chicken.
That's right, yes.
So,
yes. Interrupting my football games and telling me I should eat chicken instead of beef.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to cuddle with a nice fillet, like most normal people.
Yeah.
But if you want to cuddle with a cow, you can. I wouldn't pay money to do it. $300 for an hour and a half. I would just go out to a pasture and see what happens.
Not when me and you both know probably 50 people
right,
who have cows.
Right, yes.
I mean, it'd be kind of awkward asking to
go,
do it.
Hey, Hey, Del Ray, we just wondered if we could come out and hug on your cows tomorrow.
I've just been stressed out from work.
Life's been real tough here
I've got
lately.
these deadlines. My boss is ready to fire me. I just need to hug a cow. Can I please just go hug a cow?
You cool with me coming out and doing that? I know you milk twice a day out there, so can we come by and just get a little hug, a little snuggle time in with them? No, you can't. It's weird. Don't come around my kids anymore. You know, that's weird. But I don't know why you can't just buy a dog or a cat. You know, find a cat glued on the road.
Or how about this? Hug your friend.
Yeah, hey, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Maybe if you weren't sitting in front of your computer 24 hours a day, you could go hug your best friend.
Reading all your friends ranting about what's wrong with the world and what's wrong with their world, and it's overwhelming.
Kiss your wife / husband / boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
There's other ways to.
Yeah. Kiss your significant other.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Shout out to my wife.
And mine too.
But you seem a little stressed here lately, baby. Just want to throw it out there.
I just want to tell Tara I know how to relieve all that stress. So
doing some laundry. I didn't. That's wrong. That's wrong with me. That's wrong with me. Did have to do my own laundry though this week. I do my own laundry most weeks though. But I had to do it in the middle of the night one night because I realized I didn't have anything to wear to work the next day. So, anyways, go cuddle with a cow if you want to, or just find you a big woman down at the convenience store. Either one works.
But one thing you don't want to cuddle with is chickens.
No.
Because the CDC is actually taking it upon themselves to warn us about a salmonella risk. CDC warns against dressing up chickens for Halloween due to salmonella.
Oh, wow.
It says in North America, the CDC is warning folks not to dress up their chickens for Halloween. The agency says handling chickens to put on a costume or cuddling them can lead to salmonella exposure.
Wow.
For some chicken owners, like Stephanie Morris, the birds are family, and their owners like dressing them up each year.
I don't think the chickens like it. I really don't think any animal that gets dressed up likes getting dressed up. They have the freedom. Like, God gave those animals the freedom to go around naked, really.
Yeah.
Like, I can just be myself.
They're like, I didn't eat any of that tree.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
What do I need to wear clothes for?
And now we're just like, oh, no, you're going to be like us, and you got to wear an Alabama football jersey all day on Saturday because I want my friends to think you're cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, she feels differently. Morris here says, I just like to put a t-shirt on them or a sweater. Can you ever imagine not being able to dress up your chickens or hold them? No, I love them. I love to talk to them, and everybody has a name. The CDC is tracking a salmonella outbreak right now, and so far it's reached 29 states, affecting 92 people. So I would like to say that 92 people out of 29 states is...
That's pretty small.
We're not...
Do we really consider that an outbreak?
We're doing good.
Yeah, is that an outbreak? I mean, what qualifies as an outbreak?
That's a good question. We should write to them.
Yeah.
The agency says handling chickens could be a contributing factor in the outbreak. So they're not even really sure. They're just saying, hey.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, they're like me. They're like, quit dressing up these poor chickens, y'all.
Or cuddling them.
Yeah, or cuddling them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to sleep with a chicken. I mean, like take a nap with one.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
They're pretty dirty. I mean, they'll poop
They really
all over
are.
the
I mean,
place.
okay, they don't all have salmonella because they're clean animals.
Right, yeah. Yeah. But they'll poop all over the place regardless.
They will. So I guess cuddling cows and horses good. Cuddling chickens bad.
That's out. Yeah.
And don't dress them up for Halloween. What would you dress up chicken for as Halloween?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
I don't know. I feel like you get a little T-Rex costume for it. That'd be pretty rocking.
I would like to see a chicken, holding up a sign out there saying "Eat more beef."
That actually would be pretty solid. That would be pretty solid. All right. Well, continuing on with our livestock section of the podcast. This comes from thedailycaller.com. PETA, our friends PETA,
them again.
say cow's milk is a symbol used by white supremacists. Most people learn growing up that drinking milk is good for growth and bone development, but not everyone believes that. According to the animal rights activist group PETA's Twitter page, drinking milk is a symbol of white supremacy. And here's their tweet. Cow's milk has long been a symbol used by white supremacists. One more reason to hashtag ditch dairy. PETA has long claimed that they are nonpartisan and just want to help animals. So while the link between dairy products and white supremacy seems confusing at first, the animal rights organization's tweet is meant to encourage people to want to stop consuming milk. PETA opposes the production and consumption of milk because they believe the act of milking the cow is abusive and strips the animal of its dignity. The organization also claims to be standing up to white supremacists with their bold stance because, according to PETA, white supremacists drink milk in an effort to mock lactose-intolerant minorities. I did not know that.
Wait a minute. Are there not minorities that drink milk? Is that...
Well, look, my mom's lactose intolerant. So I always thought she was white. Yeah?
Apparently not.
So while drinking milk may make you physically stronger and healthier, one's dairy consumption could be linked to white supremacy.
I was about to say, while it makes your bones stronger and it makes you healthier, it also makes you narrow-minded.
Yes. So PETA responded to this article and released a statement to the Daily Caller. And it says, PETA is not alone in commenting on this connection. The New York Times has reported it, and it's not the only outlet to do so. That white supremacists are obsessed with consuming cow's milk because doing so shows that they aren't lactose intolerant, as those of many other races are. The tired response from the deceitfully named Center for Consumer Freedom, a front group for, among others, meat enterprises that slaughter billions of animals every year, is attempting to distract from PETA's animal-saving work by falsely describing our shelter of last resort. That's kind of confusing.
Well,
which takes in mostly sick, aged, injured, aggressive, and otherwise unadoptable animals. Oh, that's when they get all animals and kill them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, PETA, they like to, complain about all these other people and industries that slaughter millions of animals, but there's another group that slaughters a lot of animals every year too, and it's PETA.
Yeah, right. And let's see, update. Will Kogan, a research director at PETAKillsAnimals.com.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. He's not biased. Issued the following statement to the Daily Caller. PETA's bizarre association of milk with white supremacy shows there are no limits to the lengths it will go to obnoxiously push its vegan agenda. The groundless association is reminiscent of PETA's past comparisons of modern farming to the Holocaust. Sadly, this isn't the first time PETA has distorted the truth. This is an organization claiming to care about animals that kills thousands of dogs and cats at its headquarters instead of finding them homes. So, anyways, there's some controversy around PETA's statement here that white supremacists use milk. But I'll have to say, at all the Klan meetings I've been to, it's never been brought up. That's a joke. I'm not in a Klan.
I was going to say, they always serve coffee, and they never have creamer.
Never have
let
creamer.
alone
It's
whole
just
milk.
straight black coffee. But let me clarify again. I am not in the Klan. I'm not in any way associated with any white supremacist organization. That was just a joke.
We just know that, ironically, they like their coffee black for some reason.
We've brought in a new segment of listeners that my wife has introduced them to. Deidre and I are in these classes to become foster parents that you have to go through the state DHR. And I don't want any of those people to who haven't really gotten used to my humor, to think that I'm involved with anything like that, because I am in no way. I disavow all of that.
But let's pull back the curtain on this.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know what's really going on here, John? Where did this really come from?
The milk?
No, drinking milk is a symbol of white supremacy.
4chan.
It's
for
4chan.
Sure. Yeah.
They strike again.
Yes.
It's 4chan, y'all.
Yeah, right. No, that's true.
It's not. This is a group of, trolls on the internet.
They just enjoy chaos.
And they enjoy chaos, and they've managed to trick all these mainstream publications that the OK sign is racist,
right.
that drinking milk is a symbol
That's
of
right.
white supremacy.
That's exactly right.
And PETA just like
bought into
they
it.
bought into it. They struck again. So
Well, and for PETA, it was like, oh, look, here's some graphics on the internet that I see that says white supremacists like to drink milk. I don't want people to drink milk, so this is perfect for us.
Right.
Get it on the Twitter now, Bob, or whoever runs their Twitter.
and this
they
is
really
also
didn't-
this is an old story. Like didn't the whole
I don't know.
I thought this was like a couple years ago. When,
Well, the milk thing on 4chan came
Yeah.
out, a couple years ago. Yeah.
so who's ever in charge of like
They got,
PETA's
like-
Twitter,
yeah.
they're way behind.
Right. Yes. Well, like I've said before, 4chan is kind of like the event horizon for the internet.
Yes.
Like normal internet. I know there's like deep web where they're like trading animals and
Right.
drugs and everything else, but for the normal internet. And so it takes a while for some stuff that you see on there to like filter down normal society.
To the
And I-
normies,
Yeah.
like me and you.
Yeah, right, like us. And so I guess this is, there's maybe a 2-year wait time before it gets to PETA. I don't know.
Guess so.
But it's I don't know. I like milk. We have 2 gallons in the fridge right now, and I don't drink milk to show anybody up. I just drink milk because I like it. Mm-hmm. I've read a lot of stuff about how milk's bad for you, and we shouldn't drink milk, and whatever. We're the only animals that don't drink their mother's milk beyond childhood, or anything
Right.
like that. But I don't care about any of that. It's
I was
just
about to
tasty.
say,
Yeah,
you know what else humans do that no other animals do?
wear pants.
Wear pants, drive cars,
Yes, right. Yeah,
write
there's
each
a lot
other
of things.
emails about how awesome dairy is.
That's right.
Well,
I like milk. My mom, she's lactose intolerant, or she, growing up, that's what she said she was allergic to milk.
Right.
So I assume before we decided to make it into something that sounds cooler, like lactose intolerant, it was just how you're just allergic to milk. And so she would eat pretty much dry cereal in the mornings and stuff when she wouldn't cook breakfast, which mom listens. She was good to get breakfast ready in the morning. So a lot better than I am. We're having Eggos every morning when I'm getting them ready.
okay. Well, for our next story here, Marine pilot allegedly traced a phallic shape in the sky, prompting an investigation.
Okay.
I feel like we can use
Semper
the word.
Fi.
I feel like we can use the word phallic here.
Yeah, sure.
That's a proper
Yeah.
medical term, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yes.
There's probably not too many kids that know what that means.
Yeah.
Now they're asking their mom what it means, but
What does it mean? It means a.
shaped like a pencil.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
precisely.
Yeah, sort of like a pencil, kinda.
The
If you cut the skin around the top.
okay. The U.S. Marine Corps has launched an investigation after social media users noted Tuesday that a California-based Marine flight had appeared to trace out a phallic shape in the sky.
Okay, is that wrong? You know,
Exactly. I was thinking,
he landed. They like started getting on it. He's like, "Was I not supposed to do that?"
I was thinking, it's the Marines, duh.
Yeah,
What
right.
did you think they was going to do?
Don't give them that capability.
Yes. I mean, this is on y'all, okay?
Yeah, right.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yes.
Aircraft Spots, a Twitter account that documents military flights, noted the airplane's unusual path over California's Salton Sea.
What? Wait a minute. What a sad Twitter account. Like, who's the guy that's doing
How many
that?
people follow that?
I don't know, but
Probably more now.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
After this
But if you're
happened.
the guy that's like, oh, I'm tracking hey, what do you do for fun? Oh, I like to track military flights and put it up on Twitter.
Yeah.
You're like, what kind of nerd are you, man?
Well, this probably just feeds into his research into
Chemtrails.
Chemtrails.
That's exactly
So,
right.
That's what's really going on
That's
here.
exactly right. Shout out to Gabe.
Says the account tweeted photos appearing to show a flight path that deviated from a straight line into an intricate, obscene shape.
Intricate.
It was intricate. I mean, there's pictures here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I already know what it looks like. I mean, I don't know what that. I can use my imagination.
This pilot here, he's an artist.
Okay, yeah,
It's
Hey.
obvious.
okay.
Somebody needs to have a word with the pilot, the account joked. Initially identified as a Navy flight, the account later corrected the record to say that the airplane belonged to the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Major Joseph Patterson, spokesman for the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing, told the Marine Corps Times that the aircraft in question belongs to a Marine Fighter Attack Training Squadron 101. Patterson could not say whether the pilot was an instructor or if he was in training. I would say 50-50 shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obscene or inappropriate actions, flight or not, do not reflect the core values we hold as Marines, Patterson told NBC7 San Diego.
We all know how nice and friendly the Marines are.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just kumbaya.
He told the station that the incident was being investigated and the Marine Corps would determine possible disciplinary action after the investigation was completed. Some see multiple offending shapes in the flight path. The San Francisco Chronicle reports the paper also notes that the shapes would not have been visible to those on the ground because they didn't have the chemtrail thing going.
Oh, yeah, it's just as flying.
They were just flying. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, then goodness gracious. I was thinking it was like the contrail.
You think that you were saying they skyrocketed.
Somebody did that not long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that did happen not too long ago.
Yeah, with
it
the
says
contrail.
Right here,
right.
A similar incident last year in Washington
He was with
State.
the Navy.
It gained national attention when U.S. Navy officials confirmed that one of their aircraft was involved in a skywriting a figure of a phallus.
Yeah.
In that case, the offending shape was visible with the naked eye.
Yeah, right.
So in other words, you could walk outside and look up and be like, there's a giant phallus in the sky.
Hey, mama, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just did it. That was just his flight path. See, because I was on my frame of mind was that he was skywriting it, or whatever with his contrail.
But if you're that one guy in your parents' basement with like the full beard that's like tracking this,
and now you got to rat him out to everybody.
You're like, hey, he just
drew
a willy.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well. Yeah, I don't think that's that big a deal. I wouldn't even get it. He doesn't even deserve to be getting into any kind of trouble over that. I can understand the dude from the Navy who drew it in the sky where kids could see it, getting in a little trouble.
Yeah.
But, this dude, there ain't no, don't get onto him. I just make a plea to the Commandant of the Marine Corps, whoever, let's not do anything to this dude.
It was a small phallus. It's just a little one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal to me.
Right.
Everybody, now that they know it because of this Twitter nerd, they'll get all worked up about it, and it'll be some sort of symbol of the patriarchy and whatever. So, what if they find out it was a lady who did it?
I don't know.
Because there's female, Andrea was in the
She's
Marine
just
Corps.
feeding into the patriarchy, isn't she?
I guess so. They've brainwashed her.
Yeah.
Well, let's move to my last story here, which is a follow-up story. If you guys will remember, we had a story a few weeks ago about a 800-pound hammer that came up missing.
Yes, we were specifically instructed to follow this story.
Yes, Lindsay Jones told us that we needed to follow this story, so here we are. Shout out to Lindsay. Definitely the nicest person I work with that listens to this show. Because she's probably the only one I work with who listens to this show. But no, I'm just kidding. I love Lindsay. She's really awesome. Very patient with me when I have to call her with stupid questions. An 800-pound hammer went missing in Healdsburg. Then a massive nail suddenly appeared. The mystery around an 800-pound hammer that went missing 2 weeks ago in Healdsburg continues. A 4.5-foot tall nail engraved with the word bait suddenly appeared Saturday night where a hammer art piece on the front lawn of the community center once stood.
Subtle.
Yeah. Local officials don't know who heisted the hammer or who drove the nail in the ground, and they're trying to figure out if the same people are involved in both instances. There's lots of speculation, but nobody really knows, says Ray Borgia, a spokesperson for the city of Harrodsburg. Nobody knows why the nail showed up. It could be a prank, especially because it has bait etched on it.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, why'd you step out on a limb there, Miss Borgia? Harrodsburg Community Service Director Mark Thiemig, everybody's got weird names out here. Mark Thiemig is also baffled by the situation. I think there's a hidden meaning behind the nail because it does say bait on it. I don't know if that's a draw intended to bring the humor back, or if it's intended to persuade someone to take the nail and perhaps get caught. I think there are two theories on it. To make it even more confusing, the missing hammer is of the ball-peen variety and not something you would normally grab to pound a nail, though it would get the job done.
Okay, I would just like to point out that it makes a little difference. I mean, where we live at, we'll hammer a nail with a claw hammer, a ball peen hammer, a crescent wrench.
Yes,
it don't matter.
Yeah, whatever you got with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Artist Doug Uncree created the sculpture that's on loan for temporary display from the Voigt Family Sculpture Foundation, and he's offering a $1,000 reward for the recovery. The hammer is valued at $15,000, and the piece was uninsured. Ooh, that's got to burn. The hammer handle is made from a tree trunk, and its head is a piece of that's sculpted from steel. Themig believes the best hope for recovering the hammer is by creating public awareness, and he says everyone in Hillsburg is talking about the hammer and nail. Art is supposed to create conversation and discussion, and I can't think of any other piece of art that's accomplished this mission than the disappearance of the hammer, and now we've got the nail, he says. So I think, stay woke on all this for our listeners, that the artist has done all of this.
So this is an inside job.
Yeah, inside job. Like, not a lot of people are coming down to the Harrodsburg or whatever, Hillsburg Community Center or whatever. Mm-hmm. And what's the best way to get some people down there? Let's get a little publicity.
Let's get some controversy.
Yeah, there's some controversy.
Yeah.
Kind of like I've said for forever, in Carrollton, Alabama, the face in the courthouse window that people come and see is the biggest crock of you know what in the history. I've known it since I was a little kid in third grade. We went on a field trip and I was like, that's not real. And
well, it does look like somebody just pushed their face up against the window.
Right. Somebody was a greasy.
Nobody washed it.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. And, they're like, oh, no. If you bust it out, it'll come back. And I'm like, well, let me throw a rock at it. Let's do it right now. Right. No, you can't do it. I'm like, well, if it's going to come back, I'll pay for the glass. No, we can't do that. And I'm like, okay. I got you. This just gets people to come to Carrollton, Alabama, because why else would they come to Carrollton, Alabama?
I cannot think of a single other reason why you would ever go to Carrollton, Alabama.
I actually travel through Carrollton a lot, and every time I drive by the courthouse, I'm like, that's fake. And y'all think y'all got something going on all of us, but you don't. I know what's up. So, same thing. So, just stay woke, everybody out in the San Francisco area. This is what's going on. They've stolen this, quote unquote, stolen it. And came back with this nail because, the first they stole it, everybody's like, oh, yeah, well, that's bad for y'all. And they didn't care. Now you got like a second part of the story, Here in another few weeks, the hammer's going to come back and nail the nail in the ground. I'm calling it right now. So we'll see. Maybe
me and you should drive up there and get somebody dressed up as Thor and walk around asking if anyone's seen his hammer. Yeah.
We'll bring Jared with us.
Yeah.
He's our Thor, He's our official Earth Oddity Thor guy.
Look-alike.
Yeah, look-alike.
Wannabe. I think it's more wannabe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's about to have a baby, though, for too long. So
he is. Well, he's not going to have it.
Yeah,
his wife
is. That would truly be like a superhero feat if he had one.
That would be an Earth Oddity story.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, so we better do it before he has a kid, because then he'll be locked down for forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he pretty much is already.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, he's like youth minister and all.
We see him, Thanksgiving. And we see him Christmas.
What's bad is when he came to preach was the one Sunday he came to preach here. Mm-hmm. I had to leave during the middle of his sermon because we had to go somewhere or something. I don't remember what I was doing that day, but I was just like, oh, man. Well,
as much as I would like to say you didn't miss anything, it was a pretty good sermon.
I'm sure it was.
It was.
The part I heard was really great.
Yeah.
But I told him beforehand, I was like, when I stand up to leave, I'm just going to shout, that you're preaching heresy and just bang out the door, and walk out just to freak everybody out.
And then we'll see you next homecoming.
Yeah. We'll see at our next 176th anniversary or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about our world famous sponsor. That is world famous Cajun Curl, Bayou Blended Spice. Sorry, squirrel. We want to thank them for their support. Check them out at www.CajunCurl.com. You can order the spice and their Cajun Curl cutter for potatoes right there on CajunCurl.com.
What does that potato chip cutter do?
Well,
It slices potatoes to ribbons.
Oh, that's right. We're doing spooky stuff.
This is our last one.
Yeah. Created on the spooky Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana. It's a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork, potatoes, pumpkins, zombies, ghouls,
Yes.
and anything else that you can think of putting it on.
It seasons the flesh perfectly.
The spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, easy to clean, and will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you really want to make your trick-or-treaters happy this year...
And why wouldn't you?
Of course, yeah. I mean, unless you're Baptist and you tell them to go to a fall festival. Imagine whipping up a batch of your own homemade potato chips and handing them out to those little precious, tiny trick-or-treaters there when they come to your door.
Along with some chick tracks.
Yeah. You definitely want to give them a Bible tract, too, and tell them that not to support Satan by endorsing Halloween. On the website, CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the Bayou Blended Spice and their chip cutter, but you'll also find recipes that are mind-blowing. You can locate your nearest retailer there, or you can order your own. If your local grocer doesn't carry world-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking it. Here locally, it's available at Vowels on Skyland and South's Finest Meats and in Northport at Piggly Wiggly. All of their products are made in the USA, so you know that they're good. Of course, high-quality American craftsmanship.
Right.
It's all natural, it's low salt, and it has a little kick to it, but it doesn't burn your lips. World-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. www.CajunCurl.com. Check them out. It's spooktacular, and you'll not regret ever buying it.
Get some before it's too late. All right, and
Do we have any reviews this week?
no, we don't have any. Let me double check.
Oh, and by the way, while we're just waiting, Hudson he no longer has a podcast. He gave it up.
That was quick.
Yeah, real quick. Real quick.
Oh man.
Real quick. He's a lot like me, though. You know, he can get really into something and then be really done with it, you know, in the next moment. So.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, invest a lot into equipment and stuff before figuring out it wasn't,
Yeah. So, but for anybody who had followed his podcast, subscribed to it, he's not doing any more shows. He said he's done with it. He thought it was stupid. And in his own words, it was too much work. So
Too much work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no reviews. Is there something we want to talk about for our community news?
Well, coming up, speaking of fall festivals, we're having one here at Carroll's Creek Baptist Church in Tuscaloosa County, up Highway 69 North on Halloween. You could come by. They're going to have inflatables and usually have a petting zoo. If you want to cuddle a chicken, you can do that. Or I don't think there's any cows, but they got pony rides and stuff like that. Have a lot of free candy to give away to everybody. If you're into that sort of thing, come on up and see us. That would be a good thing to do.
What time does it start?
Dark time? I don't know.
Dark time.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know.
It's usually 5 or 5:30.
Yeah, that's what I would think, 5 or 5:30. I know that we have to run one of the inflatables so at like 6 something, so that's when we're planning on coming. Let me see if it's in the bulletin here, since I happen to have a bulletin that's handy. It's got it, but it doesn't have the time. Oh, 6 to 8 p.m.
Oh, 6 to 8.
6 to 8. So come on down. Got fire trucks, all kind of pretty cool stuff. It's usually a pretty huge event. I mean, they're, I don't know. It seems like thousands of people who come through it every year. So.
It's a lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of people. So if you want to join in on the madness, see me and Tiny in person.
Yeah, I was about to say, come on down and meet me and John, the voices of Earth Oddity.
Right.
And, we'll be happy to sign an autograph. And you can get a selfie with us and post it up on your social media.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll be a huge draw this year.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. So make your plans. I know we got some audience in Britain, go ahead and buy your plane tickets. And
But get them
over
now.
here. Yeah, right. If you fly to town, you can stay at Tiny's house. We'll guarantee you that.
You know what? Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, we'll let you stay at Tiny's house.
I will send my wife and kids to stay somewhere safe
Right.
for the night.
Yeah.
And
If we have a bunch, I'll volunteer my parents' house too. All right. They got a swimming pool too. So,
and you know what? I'll buy your supper.
okay. Yeah, I'd buy your supper too.
Now, it's
within reason.
it's going to be
All right.
Jack's
Yeah,
down
right.
the road.
Yeah, let's not go crazy. All right. You got a $10 limit. Okay?
We're not doing this professionally yet, so
Yeah, but for real though, if you want something for your kids to do that's fun, because I know we usually go trick or treating and that we'll wrap that up and then come on up to the fall festival and they can jump around and see all their friends and see what everybody else
and
is
hopefully
wearing.
tire themselves out.
Yeah, right. Thomas is not coming this year. He's got a Halloween party to go to. So
Oh man!
he went to one on Friday night too. So
Oh wow!
yeah, it was like
Awesome.
co-ed, middle school.
Uh-oh.
Before we were leaving, Deidre was like, brush your hair. And I was like, go brush your teeth, boy. You might get lucky. I get to smooch somebody on the lips one time. So, he's, it's Tara.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Tara. Hey, Tara, welcome to Earth Oddity. You're live on the air right now.
You're not going to hang up on me this time, are you? Yep, she is. She's going to hang up on me. Oh, gracious.
Man.
So anyway.
So Thomas said he didn't kiss anybody, so.
And also.
I don't believe him, though.
I'll say this, stay tuned because we may or may not, but definitely are, but might not be, have some irons in the fire, have some stuff coming up. So.
Yep, and there's going to be a auxiliary podcast coming at some point in time.
Yes, there
from Tiny and our friend. It's going to be a true crime one.
Well,
I'm not going to
maybe.
be involved with it.
I was about to say we might not, but we might be working on a little side project, but maybe not, but definitely are working on something else.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
I thought about taking over Hudson's little Anchor account and just
You should do
randomly talking in it.
Yeah, you should like blow it up huge and then not give it back to
No,
it.
that's right. You can't have it.
I did say this. Me and John, we have a wonderful podcast relationship. I think we do a pretty good show, and we've grown far bigger than I ever thought
Yeah,
we would be,
right.
10
Way
months
bigger.
into the year.
Yeah.
But that said, we do have an open podcasting relationship. We are both free to go out and podcast with other people. So, but nothing is going to change here.
Well, that's fine. Jacob can sing a lot better than I can.
That's true.
He went off this morning.
He's not as funny as you are, though.
Oh, yeah?
So he doesn't have the wit
Don't hurt
you
his
have.
feelings like that. Jacob's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's all right. He knows he's not as funny as you
Nah,
are.
he's funny. He's funny. He can sing better than me, for sure.
I really hate that we lost last week's episode because
That was the best one we've ever did.
it was pretty good.
It was. I mean, for those who are gonna, you guys missed out. It was so funny. Oh, it was great. It was great. It was well put together, well produced, everything. It was just. It was what a podcast should be. Yeah.
All right. You have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us, no matter where you get us, whether it's Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Acast, Overcast, Podcast Republic, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes. We're on them all, and we
We're on
thank you
everywhere.
so much.
That's right.
If you want to write into the show, we are Earth Oddity at planetmail.net.
That's right.
You can tweet at us. We are at _Earth Oddity.
Yep.
I believe we have an
Instagram.
Instagram, exact
That's
same
right.
handle.
At _Earth Oddity. And we have a phone number.
Yes.
If you want to call us, it is 662-493-2059. That is 662-493-2059.
Call now because we don't want to have another community news segment without any community news.
Right. Where Tara calls and hangs
Yes.
up on us.
You have nobody to blame but yourself, audience.
That's right. Yeah, you have to deal with that.
Yes. And we hope everyone out there has a great week. Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off.
Love y'all. Bye.
This has been a very odd production. Thanks for listening.